Good afternoon, everybody. This is a little masterclass, I suppose you could call it, that I've been thinking about for a while. And truthfully, I made a entire masterclass with a deck, and I have done that 3 times now, and I just didn't like it. So I wanted to pull it back one layer, make it a little more candid. And I want to talk to you guys about why we in real estate need good systems, how we can leverage automation, and how we can utilize a little bit of AI. And we're going to do it on the marker board. So really quickly, I've been in real estate technology for the last 5 years. My business partner has been in real estate technology for the last 3 decades. And one of the things that he likes to teach about is something that I have actually experienced in my own professional career working with real estate agents day in and day out. And it's that those who have good systems succeed. And those who don't oftentimes don't make it too far in real estate. So that's what we're going to be talking about during these this little master class. And like I said, it's going to be pretty candid. This is me and my little marker board. But I want to talk to you guys just about the power of systems, how we can do them. So when I'm working with real estate agents, I'm working with kind of the full gambit. And you see a lot of really new real estate agents, and you hear the stats about our industry. It's like 90% attrition in the first 2 years, which is just generally almost unacceptable, right? And the reason I believe that this happens is because in those first few years, you don't really know what you should be focused on. You don't know where you should be integrating systems. If you have decided that that is in fact, okay, I know I need good systems, but then you find yourself, I don't know what to do. So then you kind of default into some really strange things. One time I was working with a real estate agent, and they were literally using Post-it notes, and they showed me a photo of their car, and it was just full of Post-it notes. Maybe this is you. And what they would do is they would write a Post-it note so it was out of their head, and then they would take that Post-it note, and if they didn't lose it, they would go and then they would manually create emails, text messages, social media posts, whatever it is, they would manually create those based on the Post-it note. And I just think to myself, what a time waste, right? We have so many tools in our arsenal, and for most of us, we're working 6 days a week, at the really far end, 14 hours a day. And I just hate to think that you have leaned into inefficiencies in your real estate business, like Post-it notes. And I'm not saying Post-it notes aren't great. I use Post-it notes in my own life, but to run your business off of that, especially when you probably have tools like a CRM or something like that, I just think that there are better ways of doing it. So we have this problem where real estate agents, maybe on the beginning of it, I hear a lot of agents these days are closing between 10, 12, maybe 15 transactions per year. You can make a decent life out of that, but you're probably dreaming of more. Maybe it's 100 transactions. You want to be one of those top producing agents. Maybe you would love to build a team out and start reaching for 1,000 transactions, something crazy like that. And so when we invest in building out systems, when we utilize the systems we build out with automations, we can start to prepare the road that is not yet reached, if that makes sense. So I have a bit of a framework that I want to share with you guys to start. And this is a framework we teach about. It's in our book, Our Best Workflow Secrets. And it's called the C.O.R.E strategies. I'm just going to abbreviate that. Now, this is an acronym. It stands for conversions, operations, retentions, and experiences. Now, these, if you have nowhere else to start, would be the ideal place for you to start. Now, I know I have a little bit of a chicken scratch, so I hope you can just follow along with me a little bit. But conversions, this is all about bringing leads in the door, right? So these are our lead magnets. These are our cold lead outreach. We are, farming. We're building out those lead systems, right? Operations, that's all about the things we do in our business. So our biz ops. Then we have retentions. Retention's all about getting those past clients to come back with us. And a lot of times that leads into the experiences that we give as a real estate agent. Now, I'll let you know, the experiences isn't technically part of the core strategies on its own. We have conversions, operations, and retentions. Those are pillars, right? The experiences is actually kind of interwoven in through all of these, because this is how we start to build out a great world-class client experience, is what we like to call it, right? So as an agent, how are you engaging your leads? How are you engaging your customers? And how are you engaging your past clients? Those questions lead to really great experiences. And we're going to talk about in a second how we can get that and we can build out things like that. But I just want to go over this concept to start. So the core strategies, conversions, operations, retentions, and experiences. This is where I would suggest you start. If you don't know where to start, start here. And truthfully, if you were to sit down and spend the next month of your life focusing on building just one of each of these, building out the system, thinking about, okay, on the conversion side, what is one process that I can bring into my business that is going to help me with my lead management? Now, something that I've done in my own business, because these aren't specific to real estate, they're business concepts, which is really cool, is I went and I was leveraging AI, ChatGPT, to help me create lead magnets. Now, lead magnets are things that we can give to or we can offer potential customers that help bring them or help draw their attention towards us. Oftentimes, you want this to be something of really great value to them, something that's going to help them out a lot. And if you can do a really good job of that, you're also qualifying that you're the person to help them out. And the really nice thing is you are also qualifying that they're a good candidate. So we're building what's called an engaged lead, someone who is eager to work with you. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of emails in my database. And I would say that most of those emails fall under a cold lead. They're not super communicative. They may not even open those emails. And it's probably the worst thing ever to send out an email, say you send it out to a list of 1,000 people and only 1, 2, 3 people open that email. Man, there's nothing worse than that. And so if I can start to work to engage my leads, to get them interested and communicate with me, the more they're engaged, the more they're interested, the more they're communicating, the more likely they are to be ready to work with me. So that's exactly what we're doing. So thinking about how to build things like guidebooks or maybe PDF how-tos. One of my favorite ones would be let's say we work with first-time homebuyers, a first-time homebuyers guidebook that brings them through what is the experience going to be for them? What do they need to think about? How do they need to go about applying for programs? What things are available? And then you can even take it, because you're the expert in your specific area. And if that is your niche of real estate, you can specify specifics about this. So for example, I live in St. Louis, Missouri. So if I was building out a guidebook for a first-time home buyer, I would focus it on St. Louis, Missouri. That way I know that the people who are looking are going to be in my area. I'm helping qualify those leads before I've ever even worked with them. And I've done this by giving them a resource that's valuable to them. Now, the kicker is you have to be willing to give them some of your very best stuff for no money, no commitment. Maybe they'll never work with you. Maybe they will grab your guidebook and they will just off into the distance and they're going to go work with another agent. But you have to believe that you're putting reciprocity or goodwill back into the world. And you have to believe that you're helping inform someone who needs that help. Oftentimes, if you can move into that state of mind, this abundance mentality, right, you're just going to be better off. So focusing on what is something that I am an expert in, a niche of real estate, a focus that I like to engage in business with, maybe a field of real estate that I just am very knowledgeable about, and then explore that. Start building out resources that can help these people. Now you can use tools, like AI tools like ChatGPT. When I start building out these guidebooks, I go into ChatGPT, and I've been using ChatGPT almost daily since it was publicly available. So I know how to communicate and talk with ChatGPT really well. It's called prompting, right? And I can say, hey, here's who I would like to talk to. Here's what I'd like to build. Here's how I would like it to engage them, how I'd like it to help them, and what I hope they learn from it. And then ChatGPT will build an outline. I'll take that outline and I'll build a base for this guidebook. And then once I have this guidebook's base, I go through and I start typing. I now have a place to start. I have a focusing point, right? So you can do things like that. And what that's going to do is you've immediately leveraged AI to expedite the process. Sometimes the hardest thing is just starting, right? You don't know where to start. And so you find yourself with these documents with just a blinking arrow. Maybe it's a Google Doc or a Microsoft document. You don't know where to start. Using AI, it'll give you something to start with. You as the expert then need to take that and apply your own experience, your own expertise, your own lifeblood into it. And when you do that, you can start creating things really fast. So there's some other videos on our channel. I actually speed tested a software that we built called the Systems Accelerator Manager. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later about that. But when I speed tested the Systems Accelerator Manager, I named it Sam. When I speed tested Sam against ChatGPT, what I found was I could build a guidebook in ChatGPT in about 20 minutes. And then let's say we take another hour to build it out and to really refine it and cultivate it and make it ours. Well, I can do that in Sam about 3 times faster. Again, it's all about speed. If we need more hours in the day, if we're looking for that 25th hour, it's not going to come. So we have to figure out how to be more effective with the time we do have. This is where focused work comes in. Now, if you were to do that same process manually and you were to sit there and think about it, the average person can type about 8 words per minute when they're thinking about what to write, right? And so now think about how long is that going to take? Probably days, maybe weeks. Maybe you've been working on building out a single guidebook for the last 6 months. How fast can you get with AI helping you with that foundation? Because it's removing that barrier to start, right? So this is something that we can do immediately inside of our business. Now, next would be operations. We start thinking about what are some operational tasks that I have to do? Do I need to contact the photographer? Do I need to set up inspection dates or open houses? Things like that. We can start thinking through. These are probably reoccurring in our business, and we can ask AI, we can ask it to help write those emails, those social media posts. We can leverage tools like Canva, which has AI built in, or ChatGPT with Dolly, and we can start to create images. And all of this is going to reinforce and refine and make our business operations systems better, right? So we have business operations. That's going to be what is occurring, right? And if we start thinking about what's occurring, what do I have built in? We're currently just thinking about all these things. We're going to dive into how you would automate those in just a second. After that, we have our retentions. This is all about past client experiences. Now, on another video I shared recently, a couple weeks ago, me and one of my buddies were out on a walk in our neighborhood, and he's looking at a house just down the street from mine. And we were talking about his experience with his real estate agent. And in an industry where I think 80% of people say they would love to work with their real estate agent again, but only 20% do, there is a lot of room for improvement, right? And as I was talking to him, he let me in on an insight that I just absolutely love. I'm going to share it with you, and I would love for you to apply it. What he said is, you know, if my real estate agent had spent just a little bit of time building out a system for me as a past client, because we were talking about this past client retentions, and that system shared every 3 months that I should change my air filters, every 6 months that I should change my smoke detector batteries, every time a new restaurant opens in the area, the opening and what I should order off the menu because they had went and tried it, or even better, they invited me to go try it with them so that they could share with other past clients. These relationship building things. This is driving an experience for them. Just because they're not your client anymore, just because you finished the transaction, you've got the commission check in the bank, doesn't mean we stop there. Because what happens is if we get our retentions right, people start sharing with their friends organically. They start wanting to talk about the incredible experience that they had with us as real estate agent. And then our referral network replaces the need for leads coming in the door, these cold leads, because they're engaged leads that have been sent from past clients. Now, how easy is it for us to utilize a past client's experience to get leads in the door that are engaged, and then we use systems that we've already built to give them that same experience, the one that they had been shared over, and it's already built out, it's already thought through, and we can really focus on delivering it again and again and again. So you can do incredible things like that very easily. Now, again, we can utilize AI, ChatGPT, tools like the Systems Accelerator Manager to create this content. We can do it really fast. And that's one of the keys right there. Is the faster we can move in creating these things that are custom to us, that sound like us, we tweak them a little bit, and we put them out into the world, we can start driving a better world-class client experience. Now, I know that there's a lot of fear around AI as a topic, as an industry. A lot of people think that it's going to replace our jobs, but I personally believe that AI is going to enhance the ability for individuals who use it to do work better. And what it's going to do is it's going to take all of the things that don't necessarily need our attention, don't need our work, and it's going to allow us to systematize and to automate those things. And then once those are automated, we have the opportunity to focus on bigger things, right? So we can focus on building that world-class client experience. We can focus on delivering a great experience to our past clients, to our current customers. We can focus on how we engage, inform, and bring our leads from maybe a cold lead to an engaged or a warm lead, right? We can start to do those things. Or in real estate, maybe we want to work just a little less, but right now working less means not getting as many transactions at the end of the year. So I can't do that. But if we leveraged AI, now we have the room because we're saving time. If we had done something manually that would have taken a month and we were able to do it in a day. Now we have prospectively some girl math, right? 29 days that we saved that we can apply elsewhere in our business. We can work on growing it. And that is how we start to leverage the core strategies to build out systems. Now, from here, we have our systems in place, right? The conversions, operations, retentions, and experiences that make up our business. how do we go about, if you didn't think this was live, that's your cue. How do we go about taking those systems and applying automations? Well, what we need to do is we need to find what's called a workflows engine. There's a lot of places that do that. Perhaps your CRM already does that. My business partner, he has a software called RealVolve, and they have a workflows engine that he built inside of it. What a workflows engine is it is taking a series of tasks, systems, if you will, and it's saying, I want to do this task, and I want to do it at this date, at this time, to this person. Boom. Now, all we have to do is tell the system, hey, I have a new lead in the door who has asked for that first-time homebuyer guidebook. Go and send that to him. Now, you don't have to send it to him. Cool, that's awesome. Or, hey, I have a inspection coming up. I need to get a hold of the inspector and set up that date. Cool, we can build that out. These automations take those systems and they just apply a framework to them, right? When is it? Where is it? What time is it? Who's going to be engaged in that? All of these things help us figure out how to create these systems. Now, you can get really intricate with your automations, but you don't have to be super intricate. And that is what I want to talk about next. So we take our systems and we apply them to a platform that can do automations. We can use things like maybe Zapier is another really good one that you can parse information or you can gather information and send it. It's kind of like a traffic control person. If you ever think of like a cop who's standing on the corner directing traffic, it's kind of what it's doing. It's saying, hey, this came in here. I would like to take this and send it over here. Cool. This came in from here. I would like to take this and give them that. Cool. Things like that, right? But then now we start to look at, okay, now I know that I need systems. I need to utilize automations. I'm leveraging AI to build those things to create time. But how do I go from, say, the 10 transaction to the 100 transaction? Well, you have to start somewhere, right? And so oftentimes starting somewhere is going to be starting with a poor system before we get to a refined system, right? And so this is where I like to teach a framework called system recycling. System recycling, right? So essentially what system recycling is going to do is it is going to take the foundations of a system. What is that first attempt that we have? And I came from a marketing background and we have what's called A/B testing. So when you're A/B testing, maybe you've experienced this with some of your advertising. If you've ever advertised on social media or you've ever looked at something, you might put something through an A/B test. So you would see a title for an ad or maybe the image for an ad, and you'd go, all right, this is what I think it should be. It should be this title with this image. But I don't know if people are going to respond well to that. So then you throw what's called an A/B test and you say, here's a second title. And here's a second image. And now you can start to evaluate which title works best, which image works best. And once you figure out, oh man, you know what? Title number 2 worked better, but image number 1 worked better. Now we can create our third which is going to be a combination of the two, right? So we're utilizing A/B testing, and you might be asking yourself, Cody, how does that apply to system recycling? Well, we can do this with our systems, right? All of our systems are made up of resources, right? This is the emails, the text messages, the posts, all of the different pieces that make up these systems. When I have a first-time home buyer that comes and engages with us to get a new guidebook, well, the resource is that guidebook, but I need to send it to them via an email, or maybe I'm going to send it to them through text message, or maybe I'm taking that and I've got to create a post that drives people to that system. Different things like that. Okay, that's cool, but how do we know that the most eyes are getting put on each of these pieces? How do we know they're effective at engaging people, or people are excited to open our emails, people are going to read our text messages, people are going to interact and comment and engage with our posts? How do we know that that's working at all? System recycling. So we can start to look and say, oh man, you know what? This email that I wrote that gives them that free guidebook, they've said that they want this guidebook, but only 3 out of every 100 people are opening my email. That's not a very good email. A 3% open rate? Ugh. You know, how can I make that better? So maybe we make a second email. And we go from 3 out of 100 to, let's call it 10 out of 100. Cool. That's much better. Okay, what did I do? Did I change the subject line? Did I change the copy that was inside of the email? What did I do? Once you start digesting or picking apart all of those pieces, change one thing at a time, try again, change one more thing, try again. And as the number climbs, as people start leveraging or utilizing the things that we're sending them more, we're going to start building a better resource. And those resources get plugged into our systems. Those systems are then being recycled until they get better and better and better. So we may have to start with a poor system. When we first start, how often are you an expert on day one? I have been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now for almost 4 years. And I'm gonna let you in on a secret. I'm not that good because I haven't been doing it long enough to be great. In a sport where most black belts take 10, 12, 15 years, 4 years is absolutely nothing. But I've got to start somewhere. I've got to be bad for a long time before I can start to build out these refined systems. And a lot of times we are in real estate and we're like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to be bad. I need leads in the door now. I need customers right now. I'm gonna go out of business before I ever get to here. And that's exactly why we need to start building out our systems now. They say 90% attrition in the first 2 years, but it takes most real estate agents 2 to 3 years to figure out what kind of systems they need and then start building out those automations. So if we can make the 3-year period, maybe 3 months, we've spent those 3 months really focusing on our core strategies and building out at least one, we can start to move closer and closer and closer. And once we get all the way up here, let's say we made it to 100 transactions, we're going to have really well refined systems. They've been recycled to a point that they're excellent. We're able to drive a better experience for the people that are coming through and working with us. And for the most part, those are completed systems. We can kind of move on. And that's where we start with the 4 core strategy systems, and then we start building out more and more and more, right? But you have to start somewhere before you can get there. And so this is the concept of system recycling. Now, while we're doing this, there are tools that you can leverage that are going to help you with system recycling. Like I said, you can leverage tools like ChatGPT to help you with those emails. You can utilize tools like the Systems Accelerator Manager to help you build out your text messages or your posts. And all along the way, we can manually be reviewing these, or we can also engage with these AI systems. Hey, I wrote this email. How could it be better? How could it help my first-time home buyers engage with it more? How can I captivate their attention in the subject line? We can ask AI these different questions, and they can start to give us answers that are going to help us with our system recycling. So this is the big concept that I really wanted to share with you guys today. Like I said, I have been in real estate technology for the last 5 years, and this is the number one thing that I see real estate agents struggle with, and eventually they struggle themselves all the way out of real estate, which is just something that I don't want for you. And so the fact that you found this means you're already taking the first big step. But you might find yourself wondering, okay, Cody, what is an action step I can take? We have this big idea that we need systems paired with automations, and we can leverage AI to do that, right? Systems and automations plus AI. What that's going to do is it's going to make you move faster, so it's going to save time. It's going to improve your experience. It might even refine who you get to work with, so you can focus on working with people you want to work with. I like to call those your dream customers. One of my mentors, Russell Brunson, loves to have you focus on who's your dream customer. And then also, as you're building out all of this, your business infrastructure, the systems that make up your business, starts to grow. And so now we have all of the infrastructure being put into place so that we can start to move from those 10 transactions to those 100 transactions. We can start taking these systems and bring virtual assistants on. And we can start taking these systems and we can bring team members on, and we can start teaching them about our systems, and then they can start refining and building their own systems. And then as they succeed, we succeed, our team grows, that number increases. Maybe we are now able to go from 100 transactions to 1,000 transactions. Can you imagine what that would be like? And all of this comes down to, first, you got to know where to start, right? So if you need a place to start, that's where the core strategies comes in. And if you were to spend the rest of this week just building one system for each of these core strategies, think about how far you could get. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. We already talked about that. We're going to leverage system recycling to start refining these. And truthfully, you can kind of draw little arrows, right? Like, we're going to start recycling that and making it better, just one piece at a time, one person at a time, one interaction at a time. That's how we win at real estate, is one customer relationship at a time. I like to say, think about your third best friend. You got it? Third best friend, right? Did you have to think hard about that? I know I probably would. If you haven't thought about that third best friend this week, there's no way that the past clients are thinking about you, their real estate agent. And we have to be serious about that. We really have to think, okay, yeah, that makes sense. No wonder they're not working with me. I don't want you to drive by a house that you helped someone move into or someone sell, and you see another agent's sign on their lawn. That hurts, right? But we have to understand that if we're not building good relationships, if we're not engaging them, if we're not helping them, we're not sending them happy St. Patrick's Day emails that every single brand ever is going to send them an email for, that's not a world-class client experience. You're just sending them something to send them something. Give them something of substance. Give them something that's actually going to help them. And we can leverage AI to start building out these things. Another example, my business partner, he shared about, we have a YouTube video on this, using ChatGPT's AI to help write a custom children's storybook. So let's say we help first-time home buyers, and our first-time home buyer is a family, and you know that they've got 2 little kids. We can write a story for these kids using their names. It's going to talk about the home buying process and how Johnny and Sally got to be a part of it. And so when they come to that showing, you can give these kids this little book. Now, mom and dad are going to love that because now they have something to do. And the kids are going to be part of this process because it's going to be their home too. And you can leverage ChatGPT to write these. You could leverage the Systems Accelerator Manager through creative writing. You can use tools like Dolly or Canva to help put it all together and drive images to it. There's just so many things that you can do. And all you have to do is know that they exist. That's all you have to do. So this is the big concept for today. This is, like I said, something that I see a lot of real estate agents struggling with. And if you find yourself struggling in that, I'm hoping that this is maybe a first, focusing lens that you can take on how to grow, how to start climbing your way out of, 10 transactions, moving towards 100 transactions. I would like nothing more than you to be just fabulously successful in real estate, because I think that there are, quite frankly, not enough real estate agents that are driving world-class client experiences, that are helping people find their dream home and make the biggest purchase sometimes of their life. And if you can be that for them, and you can do that successfully with some systems, man, we have achieved something great. So here's where I am going to throw a little pitch at you. I talked about the Systems Accelerator Manager. It's a piece of software that I built, and it is specifically designed for real estate agents. And when we are working inside of ChatGPT, like I said, I've been working inside of ChatGPT almost daily since it came out last year, November of 2022. And I'm a pretty tech savvy guy. I will use it pretty regularly, but I've spent time learning how to write prompts, right? And ask the questions. And ChatGPT is kind of like a search engine where you ask it a question, and then instead of giving you a list of links that you can go and sort through and kind of figure out what you're looking for, it's just going to give you the answer. But you have to know how to write those questions. So if you are like, I need good systems, cool. Oh, I can build resources that are custom to my dream customers. That makes so much sense. Oh, and then I can start refining the processes until they're perfect. And this is the roadmap to success, right? But you don't know if you're ready for that next step, that AI step. What I'd like to invite you to do is go to Sam. I was going to say it, but then I was writing. So sam.workflowsecrets.info. What that's going to do is it's going to take you to our software. Inside that software, you can hit sign up. What it's going to do is it's going to pop down a little screen, fill out your first name, email, and then create a password. And then you are going to have access to the Systems Accelerator Manager, SAM, for 14 days completely free. Now, when you are inside of SAM, what I want you to do first, once you've signed up, go to the profile settings. And in the profile settings, I want you to tell the system about your business, your team, and then yourself. And the most important is this last one, yourself. What we're telling the system is, what is the niche of real estate we like to work with? Who are we working with? Is it first-time home buyers? Is it luxury condominiums? Is it new construction? Whatever it is, just tell the system. And then you can also tell it What is my writing style? How do I write emails? What do they sound like? If you don't know, start picking a couple. There's lots to choose from. But if you will identify who you are, your niche, and your writing style, that is going to set you up for success. Now, once we've done that, step 2, right? We're going to go to the generate section. And in the generate section, you're going to find something familiar. You're going to find the C.O.R.E, the core strategies. That's right. I took this framework and I built out an AI tool to help you, specifically designed for real estate agents, using the core strategies. I couldn't make it much easier than I did. Pick an area that you want to focus. What is a resource you want to build? Maybe you like this idea for the first-time home buyer guidebook. Well, click on the C. That's conversions. It's all about leads, right? And all you have to do is tell it the resource you want to create and the type of resource. And all of these are just little buttons that you select. You select which team member. If it's just you, select just you. And then under that, select the objective. What is the value of getting or receiving this guidebook, right? What am I going to walk away having read this, learning? That's the objective. And then click start. The system's going to think about everything you told it. It's going to ask you a couple questions. Hey, when you want this, do you want this? Or have you thought about the length? How long does this need to be? It's just going to ask you a couple of questions. I like to call this the refining area. These are the tuning fork that's going to really make sure that this is a custom resource. Once you answer those questions, if there's any questions you don't like, just throw a little thumbs down. The system won't even think about it. But once you answer all these questions, it's going to think about all the answers. It's going to think about what you wanted to create. It's going to think about you and what you told in the profile settings. And then it's going to generate something that's custom to you. It's written to sound like you. It's going to be focused at the people you're wanting it to be focused at, your niche. And it's never before been seen because it's built with AI. Now we have a good first draft. We didn't have to learn how to write any prompts. All we have to do is take it and copy it, throw it into a Google Doc, into Canva, wherever you would like, and refine it, add your expertise, maybe tweak it a little bit, and then boom, we're ready to go. Now, I can do most of these resources in 3 to 5 minutes. Let's call it a total of 15 minutes once we read through and correct it. Take that and compare it to, say, ChatGPT. It took me probably 3 to 6 months to learn how to write questions appropriately in ChatGPT. And I'm a pretty tech-savvy guy. On top of that, when I was doing this exact same process in ChatGPT, it's taking me 3 or 4 hours. So there's a learning curve to ChatGPT, and it's not as fast. Sam is about 3 times faster, and I did a speed test on it just because I was curious, right? I wanted to be able to share with you guys earnestly, and so I did my own little speed test on it, and that's what I found. So once you have those resources, now we can start building out those systems. Now we can start filling those systems with the resources, and we can utilize the system's accelerator manager to do that, right? Now I'll give you one third step that you can do. Step number 3, there is an area called quests. And the quests area, I'm in my 30s. When I was a young child, there was a game that came out and it like swept my generation. It was called RuneScape, right? And maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, doesn't really matter. But inside the game RuneScape, they have what's called quests. And the goal of a quest is to help you, the player, learn how to do something in the game, or explore a new area of the game, or unlock content in the game, whatever it is. That's a quest. And so I took this idea and I thought, you know what? How can I help real estate agents in their own businesses? How can I guide them to that business infrastructure that I already know that they need? Quests. So you guys are going to have access with your 14-day free trial. All you have to do is go to sam.workflowsecrets.info, sign up, completely free. We're not even going to ask you for a credit card. You don't even have to stay after your 14 days. I would love for you to knock out your first 4 systems using the core strategies in the 14 days. If they work, come back, subscribe, stay a while, right? But in the quest section, you're going to have a getting started. And that getting started quest is going to help you build out some of the core business infrastructure that you probably already need. Now, the benefit to doing this too, you know how I said up in the profile settings, you're sharing about yourself. Well, what that's doing is that's helping the system learn who you are so that it can create content that helps you. When you fill out this quest, you're telling it about your business. The system can then take that information that you share with it, and it can plug it back into helping make better things for you. So not only are we building our business infrastructure, but we're helping the system learn just a little bit more about us so that it can help us more. So that is what I would love for you guys to do. That is kind of the big pitch, if you will. I would love for you to get in there. I would love for you to start building out those resources, creating those systems, and then find a tool. You know, maybe it's RealBall, that CRM that my business partner made. They also have 14-day free trials. Go ahead, hop over to there, build out some workflows and apply those systems. Maybe you have your own CRM that does the exact same thing. Leverage that. The really cool thing about the Systems Accelerator Manager is once you create these resources in the generation section, you can copy it. You can either copy it plain text, you can copy it HTML, you can save it for later, and anything that you save, a saved generation, the system can learn and go, oh, okay, they liked that. Why did they like that? Oh, I bet you it was because of this. Cool. I can help make more of those. And it can, again, it's just helping learn about you, how you like to write, what kind of content you want to create so that you can make better content that's going to drive a better world-class client experience. So go ahead and go to sam.workflowsecrets.info, get that free trial, build out those 4 core systems, get started, create resources, and watch as your business builds out those automations and uses those systems, how your plate starts to get less full of all of the mundane, the hard details. You know, I always say if you have to send an email more than once, it should be a templated email that's automated. Why are we sending emails that are the exact same email again and again and again, but we're typing it every time? That's silly. If we can leverage tools that are designed for real estate, that are focused, that are using AI to help us move with speed, now we can focus on more important things, those client experiences. That's kind of all that I've got for you guys today. I hope this was really helpful. I would, really like if you're not interested in more tech, if you're teched out for this month, that's totally fine. I understand. Grab a hold of this concept of the core strategies framework. Grab a hold of this idea of system recycling and then apply it to your business. Take these, run with them, have fun, go out there, chase down the world, right? But I think that once you start focusing on these tools, maybe 2024 is the year that you get really serious with real estate. You really start building out your systems and all of the resources that encompass all of the systems. You take those systems, you apply automations, and you watch your business take off. What better a time than now, right? They say you should plant a tree 20 years ago, second best time being now. Go ahead and plant your tree. And I would love to help you dig that hole in the ground, right? Go to sam.workflowsecrets.info. That's what I got for you. Hopefully this is helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any thoughts on these topics, or let me know success stories on what you've been doing. But don't do that until you go to sam.workflowsecrets.info. Click sign up, get that free trial. And otherwise, I will see you guys very soon.